In a year marked by rising costs, political frustration, and daily pressure, African youths found unexpected ways to respond. They laughed, they dressed boldly, they created skits, memes, and moments that traveled faster than speeches ever could. Now, across the continent in 2025, humor became more than entertainment. Satire reflected hard truths about unemployment, governance, relationships, and survival. And style became more than fashion. Outfits, hairstyles, and streetwear turned into statements of identity. We go on a short break now. This is Fafanua Afrika, and when we come back, we have more. Stay with us. In 2025, humor was everywhere, from viral skits about fuel prices to memes capturing daily hustle fatigue. Young Africans used comedy to narrate lived realities. Satire allowed truth to land softly but sharply. It made frustration relatable and collective rather than isolating. Now, at the same time, style took on deeper meaning. Fashion, hairstyles, and street aesthetics became visual storytelling, and some looks were playful while others were symbolic. And together, they challenged stereotypes, reclaimed African narratives, and pushed back against expectations of how youth should sound, look, or behave. The line between humor and style blurred. Comedians dressed ironically, influencers exaggerated looks for commentary. Digital platforms amplified it all, turning creativity into culture and local expression into continental conversation. This is Fafanua Afrika, the show that spotlights the youths, their challenges, their opportunities, and profound solutions to some of these challenges that the youths face on the African continent. Now, this is not about to be a monologue, and of course, it's a festive season. So I have my amazing guest joining us to discuss this particular topic. I have Ibraheem Abdulateef-Adebayo, a Nollywood actor. I also have David Ayomide, an artist and a songwriter, and Ayankola Ayanwuyi, an author and cultural educator. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me start with Ayankola. We're talking about humor and the likes. Now, in 2025, humor seemed to play a bigger role in how young Africans express frustration, because Africans really experienced a lot of frustration, and for some reason we're able to pivot and find a way to just make light of the situation. Why do you think that was?
Yeah, practically even in Nigeria today, everybody is a comedian. Everybody living in Nigeria, that might be a very daring statement, but the truth is that you need some level of humor, a sense of humor to survive Nigeria because of the hardship, because of the lifestyle, everything that has been ongoing from one policy to another, cost of living and all of that. So to be frank, you need some sense of humor to survive Nigeria. I myself, I'm kind of a comedian because I can make people laugh in my environment around me to make a light of the situation. You don't tell people how to fight the oppression. You don't dictate to people how to fight the oppression they are going through, especially youth. And naturally, this humor, this comedy are natural responses to the situation we find ourselves in Nigeria, in Africa today, because of the dysfunctionality, how the state of things has been, and how it has been downward instead of scaling up the ladder. And this, on the other side, has become a very big market for us. In fact, I've met friends from Angola, from Namibia, who are familiar with, young people, youth, who are familiar with Nigerian skits, Nigerian comedy. They will tell me popular lines from here. I met a couple of them, and I was surprised that that's familiar with Nigerian languages. And I asked them, how do you get to know this? They tell me they watch comedy, they watch skits, and I was surprised how this skits, how this comedy could cross border transport to other African countries. This shows clearly that the problem is not about Nigeria alone. It's about other countries of the Africa. And that's why this discussion is very valid. So you need some sense of humor to start this country. Every one of us, when we go out there, we see the state of place, we crowd, especially if you've been exposed internationally, if you go to countries, you see how things are run there, and you come back to yours, everything is downward. And it becomes more closer for you to be. And so because of people are trying to suppress their feeling, suppress how they feel, and one of the natural responses, the entertainer they bring into this to relieve the situation, to make light of it, is engaging themselves in comedy. I also watch comedy. I have some comedians I engage with, I watch their content because it's just natural. You definitely need it to survive Nigeria today. So that's what I think about it.
All right, thank you so much for that. Let me go to Ibraheem Abdulateef-Adebayo now. Okay, let me start with David Ayomide. David, if you can hear me, how would you say that satire helps young people? Okay, let's just stay with Ayankola in the meantime while we wait for the rest of our guests. Ayankola, how do you say that satire helps young people to process economic pressure, to process unemployment, and even the social stress that they face daily?
Like I said, because it's a natural response, one of the key things they find around, we must come to the reality that there are different engagements, there are different things young people engage themselves in to relieve the societal, the economic pressure we find ourselves in Africa, particularly in Nigeria in the case now. There are a lot of vices, there are a lot of activities that is ongoing. And comedy is in the world of its own. Skits is in the world of its own, and because it's viral, it's everywhere around. People make just a quick turn to it, and that one is very, acceptable. But it doesn't change the fact that it's becoming a kind of syndrome and addict. Even in the morning, you see people watch comedy. In fact, comedy is one of the things that goes quickly viral now is the booming market of the internet space now. It's what everybody, the young people rush around. And there is a saying in the Yoruba would say that when you see the hunchback or the man that is bent and you say, the load you carry on your head is bent. Why is it bent like this? The man will tell you that you are just looking about the road on my head. You are not looking at the road, at the bottom. How do I get to this position? How do people get to this position? They do not just find themselves there. It is a response to the situation. It is a response to what is going on in their society. Humans respond to their society in diverse ways. And one of the popular ways in Nigeria today is comedy, is satire, making fun of everything. You see crazy hats nowadays. A lot of people, you see, I saw one video of a comedian trying to walk as if he had an accident and is walking on crutches in front of a truck, and the truck slowed down for the man to pass, and suddenly he started dancing. You see that it's crazy, and it makes people laugh. Truly, we laugh. I laugh to it also. But when we look at these things, when we look at how they are shaping our community, the world around us, the examples they are laying down, and the order of the day, how things are turning. Well, we may have to get concerned at the end of the day. But the truth is that they are doing the work that is to be done. I can tell you that if there is no such comedy, if there is no such skit, being viral, being the go-to in Nigeria today, people would have revolted in a mass or in a high volume more than what we've witnessed over the years. In Nigeria today now, 70% of Nigeria's population is 70% of Nigeria's population are the youth, sorry. And generally in Africa, that's why they say Africa is the future. The future is black because Africa is the future. Africa is the future. So the question is, what future are we developing? And so this boils down to our society, to our economic pressure, to the world where we need, to our leadership, to people who are in government, because government and for them to look at the long term, the future, what this is likely to come into and how this can shape the future we are talking about. So comedy has become a very important part of our daily lifestyle. It's because we are in Africa, that's why you don't know a lot of things you are going through. I can tell you for real because I've engaged few people, and even my personal life, you know, you have your bad moments, you have even just going down, having a bad day, finding a comedy at the end of the day to relieve the stress and all of that. I can tell you there are a lot of youth who are facing depression, who are depressed practically. But because we are in Africa, we still live together, we play together, we do activities together. That's why it's a bit look concealed. And these traits are very quick to show when you travel overseas. Maybe you are living in the UK, you are living alone, all by yourself. It's very quick to show or to detect that you have depression. But in Africa, you can, you know, still live by the day, you can still be playing with other people, and they would not know. And so this is one of the ways people fight it, but it doesn't make it that this is there. People are depressed, young people are having a bad time navigating their life for lack of mentorship, for lack of, you know, enabling society. And we can say it is only the privileged few who have this engagement, who are this benefit of knowing how to navigate their life, finding somebody who can put them through and lead them through the challenges and the hurdles of life, especially in a very specific geographical location like Nigeria. So it makes it more complicated and difficult to navigate through. So people are actually through the day. They are struggling to pass through the day, to live on through the time by engaging themselves in this comedy, finding it funny. You see memes around, you see a lot of it, even on your WhatsApp statuses now. There are some people you would already know. There are a lot of memes who post a lot of that, who should post a lot of that. In fact, you can even decide maybe when you want to consume some content, you know where to go, where you should be different kind of dressing, different kind of, you know, things that would make you laugh and kind of relieve the stress that thing they're going through, at least for the moment.
Okay. What would you say makes humor a safer or more effective tool than direct confrontation in some context? Don't we think that this is people just postponing the challenges that they will still face eventually?
All of the vices, all of the acts, this is what they do. They just make you postpone, they make you forget what you are going through at the moment. They make you shift your attention from what exactly is happening to you at the moment. It doesn't eradicate the problem. The problem is still there. We still have to go fight it. People who smoke, people who drink, the people who are drug addicts, in fact, people who club, who, I don't know, a lot of all these practices are out there. I don't want to mention some now so that it doesn't look like I'm looking at them from a religious point of view, but talking about our society, the morality, what is considered acceptable, even belting, people who do belting, who belt, who do all this, you know. So all of these activities do not eradicate the problem. It doesn't, to be very frank. It just shifts your attention from the moment, what is happening to you at the time, and it gets you engaged in something else. I have seen friend who, in the morning, the first thing you would do, you know, he was passing through some stages. In the morning, the first thing you would do for like 1 month, 2 months, is to just wake up in the morning to play music, to watch comedy. You know, when playing such funny music, we dance throughout the morning, and that would be all. And because the situation as sometimes considered unbearable or maybe you've reached a kind of roadblock and you are not finding a way forward. So you need something to distract yourself from the reality of what is going on with you. So if you engage in this kind of skit activities and all of that, they distract and they let you feel the light for the moment. The Yoruba would say, so when you continue to immerse yourself in the situation, what is going on, and you continue to become worried, anxious about it, you get more soup, and you are likely to get lost in the hype, and of course, it can degenerate to what the public would see as the opposite of the thing. So what the ways people are trying to make light of it, to distract themselves. That's what it does. It doesn't change the situation. I don't give an answer this.
All right. Now, we saw more satirical content during youth-led protests this year. Why would you say that laughter travels so well in moments of tension? Because if you look at it, you think that Nigerians are an unserious bunch of people, but then for some reason that's what takes them through.
Right. I've seen a couple of such comedies too, where people try to depict the order of the day in Nigeria, or what is being hidden that many people don't know about. Maybe from intelligent reporters, they are privileged to access some information and they decide to turn it into a skit. I've seen I can't remember the name of the skit maker now, who produced a skit, try to depict that you are in was these IDP camps, that you are there, and he was trying to distribute things to people, and they were using the same set of people to come and collect the package, they leave, and immediately they distribute the package. They started calling the international partners, international organizations that people are dying. Do you see the video I just sent to you? They say we are distributing all we have now. We need more money. We need more package. And so this, when you see such, you laugh, and at the same time you shake your head, because it is the kind of reality of your society where you find yourself and how things are going. In fact, if you do not witness this, if you are not really there and you do not know what truly goes underneath, you know that something is definitely wrong. You know that this sometimes or somehow will lead to what might possibly be going on. So there is a saying again, I will say that the Yoruba used to say that when something has passed beyond crying, you have to laugh about it, because the Yoruba believe that there is a kind of, there is a level of cry you make inside of yourself, and that one is deeper than the tears you even shed physically. So this is the order of the day for many Nigerians, because this is their lifestyle. This is what they pass through every day. They shed tears every day. Inside of them with the situation that is ongoing. So they make fun of it, and this is what we replicate, because we are a description of our society. Everything that is ongoing, the comedy you see out there, with a description of what is going on in our community, in the world that surrounds us. And so you can't separate all of these things from what is going on in our society, because it is out there. Put it rhetorically, it's left and right, you find it here and there. So it shows that this thing is currently the order of the day. So it shows that something is systematically wrong, since you can find it there. So the comedy has to travel faster and all around, because of the message they carry, because of how people depict this thing, how comedians depict this thing, and how they make light of it to the society. And of course, so at that moment you laugh, you in fact you share it to some people. I don't know if you tell me, because you see a comedy, you go like, no, I must pass this around. Somebody is very close to them or see because of how funny it is, or maybe there's a message you find in that comedy that you think somebody else should see. So this is why it just naturally does, because it's the description of our society. It's what's going on in the world around us, and they are just being depicted in comedy, and there is nothing we can do about it until we correct these errors, we fix things in our society from ground and upward.
Now, at what point does humor shift from entertainment to a social commentary?
In what light do you mean from you mean from humor to social commentary, passing a comment on what is ongoing in the society?
Yeah, okay, so basically,
right?
yeah, so basically, let's say we're trying to make light of a situation. It's quite different from when people now start to just, pass comments, basically make it look like it's not as serious as it should be. So there's a thin line between humor, making, light of the situation, trying to find the joy in everything. But then there's the part where we now trivialize everything that happens. For example, they say that the US is sending an airstrike to Nigeria, and we're still making jokes about it. The conversations around insecurity is a very sensitive one. People lose their lives on a daily basis in Nigeria. So at what point, let me rephrase the question and say, at what point does it now become insensitive of us to, we don't now know how to draw the line between humor and then just social commentary? We throw commentaries at everything, that even the sensitive issues.
Actually, in a very safe community or in a very stable society, comedy should has its own standalone place. Comedy should only replicate things that are out there now, that are kind of nostalgia, things that imaginative, and so on. That is how comedy should be made, should be replicated in a very strong society. But in Nigeria, in Africa, it is not exactly the same, because we make comedy out of the situation we are going through, what is exactly happening to us. You're right, when the US said they are sending the military to Nigeria and all of that, I found the comedy all around, people making fun of it, saying Donald Trump, this is doing this people for different kind of things. A lot of, in fact, you see Nigerians who are in US military also making comedy that people in Ibadan prepared, they are coming. So, and everything just turned to laughter, to as if what is ongoing is out of the place and not existing again. And this shows again that I'm sorry to say, we are not in a very safe society, because everything has been mixed together. We don't know the place of some of these things again. They have been mixed with our daily lifestyle, with everything we are passing through, and all of that. So,
okay, Ayankola, I'm so sorry for interrupting you. Would like to go on a short break, but we're still here having the conversation about humor and style, and how, at what point do they cross the line? Because there is a thin line, and unfortunately, sometimes the youth cross the line, all in a bid to make light of the situation and make themselves feel good about whatever situation they're in. It's still Fafanua Afrika. Do stay with us. All right, we're still talking about humor and style and how the youths utilize this to basically cope. Now, Nigerians have been known to use humor as a coping mechanism for a long time. So you see, when things like the NSAS, things like the spike in fuel prices, the spike in transport, food prices, everyone tries to make light of the situation, not because they're not feeling the brunt of it, but because that's one way that we cope. But then there's a thin line between humor, social commentary, and then just, masking our problems. Because at the end of the day, we still have to face the reality. And I have amazing guests who have been doing justice to the conversation. I've been in talks with Ayankola Ayanwuyi in the first segment of the show, and now also joining us in the studio is David Ayomide, an artist and a songwriter. You're welcome, and thank you for joining us. I love what you're wearing, by the way.
Thank you so much.
And of course, we still have Ayankola Ayanwuyi with us, who's an author and a cultural educator. So let me ask David the next question. Now, style also became a major form of expression for Nigerians over time. And if you travel to different places, I was in Namibia recently, and someone was like, "Oh, you look good. Are you Nigerian?" For some reason, you just feel like Nigerians really show up and show out. But how are fashion and appearance being used to communicate our identity as Nigerians?
Yeah, thank you so much. Fashion over the years has become a major reference point to Nigeria. I mean, these days, immediately you look at the way someone combines stuff on themselves, you can easily tell, oh, this should be a Nigerian. And that is like what fashion has done. Especially in the entertainment industry, there are ways you are expected to show out. There are ways you are expected to show up. And some of us, especially a person like me, I become intentional to want to portray where I came from. You know, a Nigerian, a Yoruba, indigenous guy, you understand? So it has just left the place of just wearing. It has become an identity, like a passport, something you want to show people where you are from. That's where fashion is now.
All right, thank you. Let me still ask you the same question. Can clothing, hairstyle, streetwear be considered a form of protest? Because there has been that conversation as to the youth using their, modern day fashion. We had the NSAS, for example, and for some reason, it felt like some of the security operatives were now profiling people based on what they wore. And then people now try to start telling people that, look, this is who we are. We dress our generation. It has nothing to do with being fraudulent and all that. So can we say that fashion can be considered a form of movement or protest or reform?
Exactly. If someone can be profiled in a wrong way because of their fashion, I feel like someone can also pass a message through their fashion, can also say no, because I am like, people can dress this way and still be responsible. A guy can make his hair and still be responsible, and still be someone with a right thinking faculty. Do you understand? So we are gradually shifting from that era where you just see a guy buttoning down and totally conclude that he is a bad guy, he's a street boy, and all of that. Times and times have gone past all that. So right now, essentially, the way the Nigeria setup is now, you have people that works from home, tech guys, and all of that, they have not been in that kind of workforce where you have to wear suits and tie. You understand? They wear shorts, they wear joggers, they wear, to just express themselves. Some of us, we wear jewelries, wear rings, wear earrings to express ourselves. It's just how you feel from inside that, manifests out from your fashion. So we all have the responsibility to continue to want to pass that message. When you see someone dressed a certain way, you want to assess who they are, not who you think they are. Yeah, so that's what I feel is a thing too.
All right, thank you so much for that. Okay, we also have joining us Ibraheem Abdulateef-Adebayo, who is a Nollywood actor. Thanks for joining us, Ibraheem. Let me come to the movie and Nollywood aspect of it. Let me get your view on using humor and comedy skits as a coping mechanism. Now, many people have said that it's a faulty way to approach things because yes, we can laugh in the moment, but eventually what happens when we are now faced with the reality? So prices of things are skyrocketing, but we're hiding under the guise of making bans on social media but then we come out every day and the reality doesn't change. So what do you think about using comic things as a coping mechanism? All right, Ibraheem, we'll try to come back to you when we are able to establish a better audio connection. But in the meantime, let me go to Ayankola Ayanwuyi now. So my next question is, how do exaggerated, humor or content challenge the stereotypes about the African youth? There's so many content online that they're no longer true. They're now exaggerated. Yes, it's comic, but at the same time, it sells a wrong message and narrative, and not just about the youth now, about our country at large. And the Westerners now begin to see us as we portray ourselves, even though it's jokingly. I think you're okay.
Education knowledge is lacking in our society.
All right, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. The proper education is lacking in our society, and this is why we see some of these things. The truth is that other countries, the Western, like you said, they are very patriotic. They are very big on patriotism, and it is how we describe ourselves to the world and outside that they take us. And no matter what they hear about us that is not reported by other media or what they see, if it comes from our mouth or from we ourselves who are Africans, who are Nigerian, it means that it exists. It means that this is happening. And we must draw the line between the extremism, between what is actually obtainable, what is right happening, than what we just want to go out there to portray because of likes, because of clicks, because of we want to go viral, because we want to be in the face of everybody. And I must tell you, this itself, wanting to be in the face of everybody, wanting to go viral, is a response to the economic pressure in our society. We must think that nothing just happened because they want to happen. They are results of something. There is equal and opposite reaction for everything that is ongoing. And not a lot of Nigerians now consider dignity as a way to live, as a way to go to now. Many consider that dignity is not going to fit them. Being modest is not going to put anything on their table. How do I get out there in the face of everybody? How do I get popularly known? How do I become in front of everyone so that people make money now from social medias and all of that? And it is about what is going to place the food on your table. That's what many of these people are considered about now. And this is another message that this place needs to be fixed. We need to fix this place. We need to consider the long term, because the longer we wait, the more we continue to sink ourselves in all of these shackles, the more we are sinking and destroying much more for us to build this country and fix it to stand on its own. So these are realities we must come to face as youth, and I believe that there are a lot more of mentorship of programs that needs to be completed, that needs to be done to bring people together, to bring youth together, to help them. I believe that there are better ways the energies of the youth should be harnessed, should be pushed to get the targeted result. Because if you say you are the future, the future starts now. So how do you begin to harness that future to see the possible result you want to see? So we need comedy. We need comedy. It's going to make the day we feel light about what is currently ongoing as a coping mechanism. But it doesn't fix anything. We need to face this thing head on. We need to get engaged in a very meaningful and practical ways to fix the land. That is what we need, and this is how the youth should be properly engaged. And when youth are getting engaged, when people are getting engaged in a way that there will be results, of course, they themselves, people who are creating this content, know that there's no market again for this thing. It doesn't do like before. You have to go find something meaningful that is going to contribute to the society in a very structural and meaningful way. For example, one of the ways I feel youth can get engaged more about the country is clamoring for restructuring more, because Nigeria is fundamentally wrong. The system that will put all that bring Nigeria together doesn't work. It doesn't prosper in any nation, especially a multi-ethnic nation like Nigeria, anywhere around the world. Many Nigerians, many of you don't even know the constitution or the kind of system that Nigeria is wrong, what is obtainable from it, what is not obtainable, and they just want to fix it and all of that. So we need, if we are pushing for restructuring more, if youth are pushing for restructuring more, there will be better result and we can achieve more things in a very quick and sooner time. Of course, we don't have to be the same before we can be one. But so we need to harness our energy to come together for civic engagement. And that is how we can push this country forward. So there are lots that needs to be done, especially about from those who know, from from mentorship, from guidance, and for shaping things, bringing things back on the right track. And that is how we can move forward. So that is the way.
All right, thank you so much. Let me come to David now with me in the studio. Looking at the trend, this year's fashion trend, what would you say that this year's fashion revealed about culture, about confidence and originality for the youth in Africa?
Yeah, I think this year has a lot of boldness in it. People are no longer scared, because whether we like it or not, I think there has been reduction in how, police and all this law enforcement actually harass people, because not like I've been a victim of them a couple of times years ago. Well, I can say that now, slowly, people are beginning to understand that times are changing. And, change is a constant thing, but change is not always easy. So I know that it is not easy, especially for the older generations and all that, and especially people with lower exposure, people that are not really born in this computer, social media age. But from what I can observe this year, it has been a lot of boldness. People are beginning to come out bolder, weird things, style. I'm also a fashion creator. Also, I make like what I'm wearing right now. I made it myself, and a lot of times when I go to places where I shop materials, I meet a lot of creators, and the kind of things that they are producing, they are creating these days. You know that now people are no longer in 2000s and 1999 anymore. We are coming out bold and we are coming out correct. And especially when it doesn't really entail too much nudity, I feel like there should be more of credit, there should be more of support to the fashion world, because these people are transporting Nigeria image. These people are helping Nigeria build more international recognition through their outfits. Another example I want to cite is what the Super Eagles wore to the AFCON. They wore a complete Yoruba senator wears, designed with green and all that. And when you look at that outfit, a lot of those players have not worn something like that before. A lot of them grew up in Germany, in UK, and all like that. They come here, they see these things. Someone thought about it, let's make this for these guys. And when you look at all these international football pages, they are sharing it, they are broadcasting it. It is being transported. There was a time I met a friend at the airport. He was coming to Nigeria for the first time. And we got talking, we became friends instantly. And in 2 days, he was asking me to make something Nigerian for him. I made him Ankara wear, I made him Ashoke and all like that. And when he was going back to the US, he made sure that was what he wore back to the US. Anytime he wears some of those stuffs, he takes pictures and sends to me. It has been transported.
Yeah.
From there, 1 or 2 persons will see it from him, also copy the style and all of that. So times are changing. We are coming out bold. We are styling. We are joining the global markets in fashion. And I feel like the society and everybody at large are supposed to try and join that trend, that movement, so that we can grow faster.
Very true. All right, very quickly, let me just get, I think we still have a few more minutes, so let me get Ayankola's views on the creative sector, basically, our skits, our comedy and fashion, so style, basically, and humor in the future. What would you say is the future of humor and style in Nigeria, especially for the youths?
The future is great. Creative industry of course, it's already doing that, doing the, I won't call it magic, because we are rich in culture, we are rich in, we are very diverse people, and we have a lot to export. And when you have something to produce, wherever you have something to produce, that means you have something to pick in. That there's a lot of markets for you there, because now the world is moving towards diversity more. And there are a lot of creativity that comes out of Africa, and precisely Nigeria. Nigeria is the biggest creative market in Africa, and the future is great. I can't remember the exact figure the Federal Ministry of Culture, Arts, Tourism, and Creative Industry has projected for the years ahead. I can't remember, is it 300 billion or something, but it's something possible. There are lots to be amazed from it, because I as someone who works in the culture, media and creative industries, I work across these sectors, and it is a reality, because the creative industry is the market, is the focus for us, Africa, fashion, and all of these. There are a lot for us to export to the world out there, because of the diversity alone, a lot we have in stock for ourselves. But also, it is inside of this creativity for comedy. So we just have to shape these things for the betterment of our society, of our country. If not, we keep on laughing away our future. We can't keep on laughing away our future from comedy. I have established from a lot of things. I've said that comedy is an important part of our society because of how things are wired, because of how things are currently ongoing, because of things that are happening. We really need to laugh, we need to get engaged, and but these things need to be shaped. We must stop feeding the internet with what they want to hear. With what they want to hear, with what they should hear. That is how you shape a society. That is how you build a nation. You must feed it with what they should hear, what they should know, rather than what they want to hear, because you keep indulging them. You keep, getting them encouraged in that realistic lifestyle, and the future will be all done without anything to show for it.
All right, I think this is a perfect place to wrap. I want to say a big thank you to our amazing guest, David Ayomide, artist and songwriter. And of course, thank you so much, Ayankola Ayanwuyi, an author and cultural educator. We'll keep seeing how humor and style evolves in Nigeria, especially with the youth across Africa. And of course, seeing how they can blend it perfectly as a coping mechanism, but not get so obsessed with it that they forget the challenges that need to be dealt with. But it's been a very beautiful episode. That will be all on today's episode. Thank you so much for staying with us. You can catch all past episodes on our YouTube channel at News Central Television. And this is the perfect time to binge watch it, because it's the festive season. And this has been Fafanua Afrika, the special Christmas edition. My name is Blessings Musugu. See you again next Friday.